Yeah. And the recording is started. Okay, so good evening, everybody. My name is Laura Finnessy. I'm the chair of ANC 34G, and happy to welcome you to our regularly scheduled public meeting for April 27th. We have a quorum present, and we will get started. We will start with some commissioner introductions first, going from left to right on my computer. First, we have Commissioner Nagy.
Yes, hi, good evening. I'm Liz Nagy, Commissioner in SMD 07, which runs from Military Road South, sort of in the middle of Military Road to the south and to Chevy Chase Parkway, and to the west halfway across Reno Road, and to the east halfway across Nevada. So thank you for coming to join us this evening.
Thank you. Commissioner Gore.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lisa Gore. I am Commissioner for ANC 34G01. My territory is all of Hawthorne and portions of Barnaby Woods, basically Pinehurst Circle, 33rd over to Tennyson and back down to 32nd, I think, Street, back around to Aberfoyle, where it meets the tributary, and all of Hawthorne. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Sherman.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Bruce Sherman, and I represent Single Member District 02, which is all the way over by Rock Creek Park and encompasses well-known institutions like St. John's College High School, Knollwood Retirement Community, the new Murray Barrett Fields, and lots of residences. 2,256 people live in our SMD 02. Welcome.
Thank you. Commissioner Gosselin. Commissioner Gosselin, you are still muted.
Unmute.
There
Dandy.
you go.
Hi, I'm Peter Gosselin. I represent District 6, which is largely the west side of Connecticut Avenue, all the way back to Friendship Heights, with the peninsula of the east to Nevada between Military and Legation.
Thank you. Commissioner Grunewald.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I'm Carol Grunwald. My district is 03, which is bounded by Utah Avenue to the northeast, 27th Street to the east, Broad Branch to the south and to the west, McKinley on the north. Then it jogs north and east along Nebraska, where the boundary rejoins Utah Avenue. Thank you for coming this evening.
Thank you. Commissioner Simmons.
Last but not least, Commissioner Simmons, Single Member District 05. I have the east side of Connecticut from Legation all the way down to Western, all the way back to Broad Branch, the divider of Ward 3 and 4. And also in my single member district is the Civic Core site of the Library and Community Center. So glad to see you all here today.
Thank you. And I'm Laura Finnessy, Single Member District 04, which goes between Utah on the east, Broad Branch on the west, Western on the north, and McKinley on the south, roughly, and includes Lafayette Point Park and Lafayette Elementary School. So thank you so much. A couple of announcements. Our agenda, to make sure that we get to our official business, we're going to have the public comments at the end. Which we did at the last meeting, and we were able to get through our items. So we hope that is helpful. Please keep your mute on if you are not speaking, and that'll help reduce reverb. And please remember that while our emotions and passions may run high, that we do really feel all strongly about the value of this community, and that's why we're here. And so please try to keep that in mind as you discuss. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to ask that we make a motion to adopt the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? Are we able to go forward? Commissioner Gore.
Yes, if we can remove the NPS presentation on the Wayside exhibit. I've been in communication with Superintendent Joyner. He cannot make tonight, but he is willing to come before the ANC at another scheduled meeting. So I will put that back on the agenda when it's the appropriate time.
Okay, and that was the item that was on for 8/12 for everyone's reference. Okay, are there any items to come off? Any items to come on? Okay, so I'm motion that we adopt the agenda as amended to remove the wayside marker presentation. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Okay, I see a second. All those in favor of adopting the agenda, please indicate aye. Okay, put your hands down, please. All those opposed? Okay, so by 7-0, the agenda was approved. Okay, Commissioner Grunewald?
Yes. Okay. So this evening, for the minutes, I would like to move that we consider the minutes for the last meeting at the May 11 meeting. It's come to my attention. I was very tired and worked late into the evening yesterday on the minutes, and I missed several formalities and requirements of Robert's rules in the minutes. So I'd like to rework them and submit them for the next meeting. So I would like to make a motion that I rework these minutes and submit them and have them ready for approval at the May 11 meeting. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
All right, all those in favor of postponing the minutes and voting on them on May 11th, indicate aye. All right, put your hands down, please. All those opposed, say nay. Okay, thank you, Commissioner Grunewald. Did not see any mokers or representatives from council member's office on the call. Is there anyone from a government agency here if there who would like to speak for a moment? If so, please indicate by raising your hand in the reactions button. Does anybody see anybody from DC agencies?
No, I don't. I'm looking at the
Okay.
participant list. I
Okay.
don't see anyone.
All right, well, this is a first. We're ahead of schedule. Mark it on your calendars. It happened now, April 27th, 7:10 p.m. Okay, so then we will go to the next option, the next item on the agenda. Commissioner Nagy, you had suggested some additional regular business meetings. So I'm going to give you the floor here.
Okay, thank you. I suggested additional meetings because for 3 of the months that we're meeting, we're only meeting one time. And I think we left open the possibility when we set the schedule in January that we might fill in the schedule with some more meetings. I recommend that we do so because we have a lot of business to do. And if we're not meeting, we can't do business because we can't make decisions. We can't make decisions if we're not meeting with the quorum. So I highly recommend that we add some meetings so we can do the business of this commission, which includes some things I can't talk about right now.
Um,
MPED and the Civic Corps.
Okay, but we also have other things like discussing the website, for example, and other business that comes before. So would you like to make a motion on that, Commissioner?
I would like to make a motion to add. I sent you and I think you sent to other people. So there might be some cause for discussion as to which of those dates might work. So I'll make a motion to add meetings to the schedule, but I'd like to discuss the meetings that I propose. And if those dates don't work, maybe we can try different dates.
Okay, and so you wanted to add additional meetings, the ones that you had proposed had out there, if I have my schedule correct, you had proposed possibly May 20th, May 27th, June 1st, November 23rd, and December 7th. Did I take those down correctly?
Yeah, I think so. It was in a table that I sent. And the reason for the 20th versus the 27th of May is because in between there is the Memorial Day holiday. So it's the Wednesday before the Monday holiday or the Wednesday after. And I tried to space it out so that they're not too much coming on the heels of another meeting.
Okay, is there any commissioner who would like to comment on this?
So is this a motion or we're just discussing?
we want to make sure that we have some thoughts on the dates first. These are dates that she had offered, the 27th. I mean, we can make the formal motion and then have to go through all the amendment, but if we want to discuss first, it might save time. But do you have thoughts on
Well,
any of these
I
dates?
really wasn't clear on the meeting, so I need my calendar is not just open and free for all. So I think I'm not gonna make a meeting or I just want it to be effective,
Mhm.
if I need to be clear on what we're meeting when.
Don't know yet.
Okay, so I think it's really hard for me to
Well,
determine if I'm available or not because I have professional and other personal matters. So I think if we have more concrete information.
okay, the concrete information then Commissioner Fennessy would be, we will have to have discussions about the Civic Core and vote on matters pertaining to the Civic Core and DEMPED as well as other business. We never know in advance. I find this argument hard to follow because when we set the schedule in January, we don't know what's going to be discussed at every meeting that we set a schedule for. So it's hard for me to understand why we would need to do that now. And in the past, the comment has been made that commissioners need advance notice in order to be able to consult their calendars. So I sent this out last week, which I thought gave people enough time to check their calendars and see if any of these dates were available.
Okay. All right, thank you. Commissioner Grunwald.
Commissioner Fennessy, or Chair Fennessy, would you kindly list the dates again for the new meetings, the proposed meetings, additional meetings?
The dates that I had listed as possible meetings were May 20th, May 27th, June 1st. Those are all three tight ones. So I'm assuming that there is some flexibility there. November 23rd and December 7th.
Okay, that's right.
Okay, Commissioner Gore?
Yeah, so I would just go back to our typical meeting procedures where we set our agenda in advance at the year, according to the ANC meeting criteria that we have in, our bylaws and our historical meeting schedule. And that outside of that, if the ANC needs to meet, historically, we scheduled special meetings. I find it very difficult to agree to establish additional meetings when right now there's no topic. There's no.
Just told you what the topic was. I'm sorry, Commissioner.
Please
Fair
let
enough.
Commissioner Gore finish. Thank you.
Yep, sorry. Yep.
Point of order, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Gore?
The commissioner is interrupting the speaker. I want my point of order rule.
Yes. Yes, point is well taken.
Thank you.
Okay, please continue.
So it's, to me, right now, I would agree, somewhat inefficient in that we don't know specifically what we're going to be discussing or what we're going to be taking up in terms of business. If something comes up that the ANC has to act and we can't fit it into a regular meeting, then the ANC should consider a special meeting. We have a lot of meetings on the books. Our meetings have a tendency to run 3 and 4 hours long. That's a lot to ask of commissioners to put meetings on the books without even knowing what we're going to be discussing. And then if you don't have the meeting on those dates, then you have to cancel that before the community. So I just think it's confusing to kind of work this way when historically we haven't. And I just think personally it's inefficient.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Gore, Commissioner Nagy, and then Commissioner Grunwald.
Thank you. I would point out that during the last term and during the first half of this term, we had, I believe, 2 meetings a month scheduled other than our recess in August. So I don't understand why we would not have 2 meetings a month scheduled for this term because we have quite a bit more work to do. And again, I would say that there will be work to do on the Civic Core. And I guess my question is then, if I put this as additional meetings to address the Civic Core, is there a problem with a recusal issue and conflict? Because that is primarily what I'm thinking of, that these meetings will be necessary in order for this commission to be able to be effectively representing the constituents of the ANC on the issue of utmost importance to this ANC, the Civic Core.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Nagy. Commissioner Grunwald?
Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate, I think Commissioner Nagy's point earlier that when we set meetings at the beginning of the year, we don't know what we're going to be discussing at any of these meetings. So it's quite odd to question why we would set 2 meetings a month and not do that because we don't know what we're going to be talking about. When we set the meetings at the beginning of 2025, we didn't know what we'd be talking about at all our meetings for the year. So
Okay.
I think we should probably have the same number of meetings this year as we did last year.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Grunwald. I thought I saw Commissioner Gosselin's hand go up and then go down. Is that correct? No, he's waving off. Commissioner Simmons.
Yes, I just want to ask the elephant in the room, what is the additional work we're going to be doing? I think we're talking around in circles. And if we enlighten
Oh, man.
the commissioners and the community what it is we're prepping for, we're not making any decisions or voting on anything. I think, instead of being passive aggressive, I think if we just say what it is that is coming up, then that would be like, okay, yes, another meeting makes sense versus having meetings just to have meetings.
Right.
I
Thank
have
you.
a lot more than the ANC. So
All right, and let's make sure that we avoid characterizing motives. Okay, thanks. Commissioner Sherman?
Yeah, I would just say that I think we can anticipate that the commission is going to need to discuss, debate, vote on a resolution or several resolutions potentially regarding the Civic Core before the July council recess, summer recess. I think we are already talking about, we've already indicated, we've approved a motion to invite in apartment owners and operators. That remains to be scheduled. We're going to be discussing on this agenda tonight, engaging the business community. That remains to be scheduled. Those are very specific business items that I think we can anticipate now that we need to set aside time for. Whether those are special meetings or scheduled regular meetings is one and the same to me. We can do either way, but I think the idea here is to recognize that we do have work in front of us that we need to carve out time for.
And I would like to add a comment that we have some, I think, discussions that we need to have as a group about the website. We had a very productive conversation on Friday at our special meeting, but it was not finished, right? It's a work in progress, and that's going to be some business before us. All right, Commissioner Nagy.
Can I make a motion to add meetings specifically to discuss and vote on issues pertaining to the Civic Core, please?
Please make that motion.
I am making that motion. I move that we add meetings in order to discuss and vote on issues pertaining to the Civic Core. Do I have a second, Peter? Is that you seconding? I can't tell.
Peter, is that a second or is that?
No, I'm not seconding. I just want to.
Actually, point of order.
Yeah.
Point of order, Madam Chair.
What's your point, Commissioner
I
Gore?
had my hand raised actually before Commissioner Nagy was given the floor.
Okay, I'm sorry, the
I don't think
woodwork
so.
and your hand are kind of blending in and I don't see them, so.
Excuse me, Commissioner Finney, I don't think so because I saw myself to the left of Commissioner Gore on the screen, which normally indicates that my hand was raised first.
Okay, so if that is, and that,
Could I?
I mean, Commissioner Nagy was on the left of my screen, so I am not sure what has happened with the hand raising here. Commissioner Nagy, are you finished with your motion?
Yeah.
Okay, So Commissioner Nagy made a motion to add meetings to work on the Civic Core. Did I capture that correctly?
Yeah, to vote on, to discuss, vote, and perhaps do resolutions pertaining to the Civic Core.
If
Okay.
Commissioner Gore would allow
Gore?
me, if
Point
Commissioner
of
Gore would allow me,
order, Commissioner Goslin, my hand has been raised.
Commissioner
Point
Gore.
of order,
Yeah.
please.
Commissioner Gore.
My question wasn't even regarding this motion. That's how long my hand has been up. But regardless of that, what I was going to state, and this is give you an indication of when I raised my hand, was I agree with Commissioner Sherman's statement. I wanted to state that it would be best for the ANC to attach topics to the meeting dates. If you say that I want to discuss the website on May 20th, and put that on the agenda or have that categorized as a special meeting, that makes sense to me. Okay, so that is when I raise my hand. I'm not going to debate it. I really don't care. I just want to get my point out that it's best to assign a topic to a meeting date. I think that would be more concise and efficient for both commissioners and the general public. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Gore. Commissioner Nagy, I did see Commissioner Goslin's hand this time,
Yep.
but
Sure.
you're on the left. Okay,
Could I-
I'm going to call on Commissioner Goslin.
could I just get clarification of what Liz mean? Is this a separate motion or is this an amendment to your motion? So all these proposals you're making are for Civic Core issues? Or have we already
Yes,
done something?
Yeah, I tried to make the motion earlier and then it somehow people decided they wanted to talk about it before the motion was made, so I stopped. And in light of the conversation, I am making a motion to add meetings to discuss and vote on and work on the Civic Core. Predominantly, that is my issue. I do understand we have issues on the website, and I would point out that we have never, ever scheduled meetings at the beginning of the year knowing what the topic of a meeting is. So I don't understand why that would be a requirement now. Undoubtedly, we will have business that the commission will have to take up between now and the end of the year that will require additional meetings. And since the point has been raised by a commissioner that advance notice is needed because of a very full calendar, and I think it was 24 hours notice was asked for, and I've now given 3 days or 4 days notice of dates. I don't understand the recalcitrance here. Sorry. The reluctance.
I think
Reluctance.
we need to keep our language very
I
neutral.
just changed it, Commissioner Fennessy. I changed it to reluctance.
Thank you. Commissioner Gore, and then I would
Yeah.
actually like to
Can
speak
you
after that.
please put me in the waiting room? Recuse on this discussion and take me out when this is over.
Let's see if I can put you in the waiting room. Sure, in the waiting room. Thank you. I would like to make a motion to amend Commissioner Nagy's motion to add meetings where she said to add meetings. I would like to say to add meetings of May 27th, November 3rd, and December 7th. Keep the language to the calendar to work on Civic Core and other business before the commission as necessary.
I'll second that motion. Who could that? I'll second the amendment.
Thank you. Do I have we have a second? Commissioner Grunewald, I'm going to call for a vote here.
Yeah, can
or
you just
do need
repeat the dates, please?
Yes, and it would read a motion to add meetings of May 27th, November 23rd, and December 7th to the calendar to discuss and vote on the Civic Core website and other business before the commission as necessary. All right, all those in favor of that amendment to the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's 5. Put your hands down, please. All those opposed?
Oops, sorry, hang on. No, don't, my head, I can't lower my hand. There we go. Gone.
Okay, all those opposed? Okay, abstaining? Okay, so that's 501. Okay, that amendment passed. And so with that, we have a motion to do, I think actually that encompasses your original motion. So now the motion to add meetings to the calendar of May 27th, November 3rd, December 7th to discuss and vote on Civic Core and websites and other business before the commission. I think technically we're supposed to vote again. So can we just do, all right, you want to, I'll second your motion. All those again in favor, say aye. Thank you. All those again opposed, say nay. All those again abstaining. Okay, thank you. Sorry for the technicality there, but that makes it, when we have an amendment, it gets a little wonky.
Chair, please, what was the vote on that?
501.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So now we have a Goods for Goods grant. Let me bring in, though, before we start, I'm going to bring in back in Commissioner Gore. So give me a minute to get her out of the waiting room. And then Commissioner Sherman, you will have a Goods for Good grant presentation that you'll be doing?
Yep.
Okay.
Commissioner Fennessy, I just admitted Commissioner Gore.
Great. Okay. So Commissioner Gore, we are now moving to the item of the Goods for Good grant application.
Very good. So I want to welcome Elizabeth Workman, who is the executive director, founder, the driving force behind Goods for Good, and my neighbor across the street. So Elizabeth, welcome. She was available for us technically on last week. We had some connectivity issues. Happy to have her here tonight. I talked to Elizabeth today. I briefed her on what we discussed on Friday. I told her that I did my best to represent the gist of the grant. I walked commissioners through the budget. There were questions. So what I'd like to do is have Elizabeth just start from the top so that she, in her voice, gives all the commissioners and members of the community her presentation on the grant application, the project that they have coming up, and how they would use the funds. And from there, we can discuss budget again, take commissioner questions, community questions, and then hopefully rather expeditiously go ahead and vote on this. So Elizabeth, again, welcome. And one thing I would just want to also say, again, for members of the community who are not perhaps aware of this, Goods for Good is one of the only, if not the only, charity in Chevy Chase. And we're honored to have Goods for Good here in Single Member District 02, but also in Chevy Chase itself. The organization is incredibly dedicated to serving folks in need, very hardworking. Lots of volunteers in the community dedicate their time and also their talent and their treasure to Goods for Good. So hearty welcome to Elizabeth Workman. Elizabeth, please go ahead. You're muted. There you are.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Bruce, very much for that very, very nice welcome, and hello to all of you. And thank you for the time you've already put into considering this grant application. We deeply appreciate it. And hopefully by the end of this discussion, you'll be as excited as we are about this Acts of Kindness Fair, which is what we are proposing. But Goods for Good, our mission sort of really leans into this, which is that we strengthen communities through collective acts of kindness. So in the sense that why we were founded and the work that we do is very much ingrained in building within the community that we are in and feel very fortunate to be in, which is the community that many of you oversee and get to make sure that you too are strengthening the communities that you work with. So our foundation is to really encourage and strengthen people's abilities to understand that they can have such a large impact in sort of doing good and doing community service for those in their neighboring, within their community, but also in their neighboring community, as in the DC area. So that is very much the basis of us, and we are but two people staffed. Otherwise, we are 100% volunteer driven. So we have over 500 volunteers that participate with us each year on our various activities and programming that we do. The vast majority are from the community that, you know, we are right on, as Bruce said, right across the street from him on Utah and Nebraska. And we have a huge amount of people who walk to our site to volunteer 2, 3, 4 days a week sometimes. So we're very much ingrained and within the community that we are the ANC community. And we feel very fortunate and lucky to have the support we have, both from the ANC and also just, you know, neighbors who really want to make a difference and want to do something and be active, but feel very stuck, as many of us do, in things that are just happening in the world and certainly within our city. So the Acts of Kindness fair that we are proposing on May 9th is very much an extension of that, which is to really offer an opportunity for neighbors to come together, to get to know each other, to get to know us as the only Chevy Chase nonprofit charitable organization in the city, and to really learn and again encourage people to find their voices and find their actions in providing support to other people who perhaps are in not such a positive place in their lives in this time. So the Acts of Kindness Fair will very much be a gathering place to pull neighbors together, young children through seniors. Will allow them to understand and learn more about Goods for Good and how they can get more involved and do things that are convenient and fun, but also very effective and needed. So they'll learn about ways that they can get involved. And also really, again, increasing that awareness of, particularly for the children, that even no matter how old you are, that your actions can have very significant reactions and can really be positive in the community, which again is our central core. We're also, of course, in doing this, what we're going to do is offer a whole variety of different, we're calling them stations, sort of activity centers where children, and again, anybody of any age that comes to the fair can go around and again, actively participate in doing something that's going to benefit somebody else who is in greater need. So we will have a station where we have, this is one example of flower pots that people will decorate with, you know, acrylic markers, and then fill with soil, fill with seeds, wrap it up. And that we're calling that a make one, take one, because people can come and put that together, and that will go to some isolated seniors who are in communities outside of ours that are, you know, very low income, but they're also able to do that and take it home to their mom because it's Mother's Day weekend when we are proposing this fair. So again, it's a way of saying, you know, acts of kindness starts at home. You can do something as simple as this and make a big difference and impact within your family. And you also can do this type of thing and make an impact to people who are feeling very disconnected and perhaps not heard or supported in the broader community. So we'll have a number of stations like that, putting together, they're going to decorate and create toiletry bags and then fill them with toiletries that are going to go to people who are very low income or unhoused. So we'll have a variety of different stations that really sort of represents different ways that people can, particularly youth, can make an impact and understand that they can do this again and again and grow it within themselves, their family, their school, their direct community, and onward. I am happy to answer any questions. Am I explaining this in a way that sounds familiar, as I know you've already talked about this, but any questions about sort of the content of Acts of Kindness Fair?
That's great. Commissioners, if you have any questions about what Elizabeth is proposing to do on May 9, please feel free to ask those questions. Then we can talk about budget if there are questions about the finances. Any questions concerning what she has described? All right. Are there any questions from anyone in the community about what Goods for Good and Elizabeth is noting in terms of what they have in store for May 9? I'm looking to see if there are any questions. I don't see any. Let's then segue and feel free. Yeah, Commissioner Grunwald. You're muted, Carol.
Yeah, I have a communication from a member of the public who wishes to remain anonymous at the moment, but she was just inquiring as to why, what the rationale was to use all $4,000 all at once for one event rather than doing less expensive, smaller events throughout the year.
It's a great and valid question for sure. We had done this fair to a much smaller degree last year to great success. We had people enormously, enthusiastic about doing something that was large enough to come together as a community and not feel like it was just small group happenings, which we do all the time, every week. So this was something that we were trying to grow to be much more of a community impact, a street festival, if you will, the same sort of reason why people close down streets and get popcorn and all of the fun moon bounces and all of that, as opposed to just going over to each other's houses, is the same sort of concept. We really wanted to grow it and grow that community acknowledgement and support about how people can make a difference by showing them different ways that they can then take home and grow within. So it's very different than what we do on a week-to-week basis, which is much more lots of small groups, lots of individual work. This we're hoping to sort of make it as a blowout that you leave going like, that was awesome, and I know how I can make a difference.
So a big splash you're trying
A big
to make.
splash. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And I had a question. They wanted, constituent wanted to confirm, is this at the ECC, the Episcopal Center for Children at Utah, Nebraska?
It is correct. It's sort of in the campus area behind the buildings. We'll have like lots of signage that make it very clear where to go. But yes, it is on the ECC campus. They've been generous enough to grant us the space for that day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Commissioner Sherman did a very thorough job presenting your information on our special meeting. So
I have no
that's
doubt.
probably why you have few questions, not from a lack of
That's
interest.
fine. No, that's
Well,
fine. I'm not surprised.
Let's turn to the finances because there might be a few questions there.
Sure.
Again, the total is 4,000. Goods for Good is requesting 2,000 from the ANC. And we did go through sort of line by line last time, but with Elizabeth here, happy to do that again if anyone has any questions.
I would prefer if the commissioners feel comfortable that we use our time not to go through it. I feel like we had a very thorough chance to look at it with your information and the review on Friday. That's my personal feeling.
No, very good. I just wanted to make sure that if there were any questions that we would entertain those in whatever detail. Commissioner Simmons.
Commissioner Simmons, I think are you muted?
You're-
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure or just point for the record that any thank you gifts to the volunteers are not utilized through the funds from the ANC. We pay organizations and not people.
Absolutely, and it's marked on the budget, not ANC funds. So yes, we're very aware and we'll be very respectful of what the ANC is intending for the money to go to. So absolutely, thank you.
Commissioner Gore.
Can you give me the schedule of when the first, do you have that already, when the first grant reporting will be done?
Oh, for me, sorry, that question's for me, yes?
No,
Oh,
Commissioner Sherman.
okay.
When the grants reporting will be done. I mean,
Right.
after the project is finished.
So what's the time frame after when is it due? Do you know off the top of your head?
I'm sorry, when is the reporting due?
Yes.
I do see
I think it's
Commissioner
90
Nagy.
I think it's 90 days, within 90 days after the event. I
Thank you.
won't swear to that, but I sort of looked that up a while back.
Thank you. I appreciate it because I want the commission to put that on our calendar and schedule that at our closest ANC meeting so that we do not forget to fill the grant reporting requirements.
Yep.
Thank you, Commissioner
Very
Nagy.
good. Yep.
Welcome.
Commissioner Simmons again.
I'll just note that it's the closeout report, so the grant closeout report.
Thank you.
Very good. All right. Any other comments, questions, concerns? Hearing none, I make a motion that we approve the grant to Goods for Good for $2,000 for their Acts of Kindness Fair on May 9. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right. All in favor, please raise your hands or say aye. All right. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I believe. 7, 0. But hands down, that means there are no nays, there are no abstentions. So the motion carries 7-0. It's approved, Elizabeth.
Thank you
And-
very much, everybody. And I hope you come by, truly.
Well, of course, I'll be there, and I hope all the other
Yes.
commissioners do go by
Yeah,
because it's a great event. It'll be a great event.
it'll be fun.
And we're heavily promoting it here in the neighborhood to all of the neighbors on this side. But it's meant to be an all Chevy Chase, all ANC event. So that's great. And again, credit to Goods for Good for doing the great work that you're doing, for holding this fair, making it open to the community, and frankly, for coming to us and asking for support. So we're happy to do it.
Well, I deeply, deeply appreciate it. Thank you for making it happen.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, commissioners. All right,
Thank you.
Commissioner Chair Finney.
All right. So our next item of business is also back with Commissioner Sherman. I believe were going to have a motion to engage businesses on the Civic Core. Would you care to introduce your motion?
Yeah, I'm going to move that we, as we have indicated, we will do in terms of engaging apartment owners and operators, that we similarly engage business owners and operators in Chevy Chase, specifically between Livingston and the Circle, both sides, with respect to the Civic Core project, to hear their thoughts, given it that 8,000 square feet of retail space is currently in the Rift Valley proposal. I hark back to the event on February 28th that we were all in attendance at, and Robert Gordon, prominent business person and well known to all of us in the community, stood up and made a comment to DEMPED and to the representatives present regarding engaging the business community to get their, sorry.
Commissioner Gore has something she needs to say.
Point, Commissioner Gore?
Point of order.
Yes, what is your point?
Well, I have two.
Oh.
First point of order is that I do have something to say. My second point of order, which I want ruled on, is that the previous commissioner made a comment that again is outside of not having the floor and not in line with Robert's Rules of Order in terms of disturbing the assembly when not having the floor and speaking off record.
Excuse me, Commissioner Finney, is that a reference to me?
Sorry, Commissioner Nagy, hold on just a second, please. Commissioner Gore, I'm sorry, but I'm not sure to what you are referring.
So when I raised the point of order, prior to you addressing my point of order, Commissioner Nagy, without having the floor, made a comment and stated, Commissioner Gore has something to say.
And
Commissioner Nagy did not have the floor. That is a direct violation of disturbing assembly under Robert's Rules of Order, and her comment was out of order. She didn't have the floor to make it. As you know, per Robert's Rules of Order, when a commissioner raises a point of order, it's addressed to the chair, not the commission. And the commissioners don't have a right to respond to that. The point of order is directed to the chair, which is you.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm really confused. So you're saying that when you raised a point of order and I didn't see it, she directed me to you and that was out of order?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well taken. I will try to be more observant and make sure I catch it, but I'm sorry I didn't catch it. Are we? All right.
back to my original point of order is to read my recusal. I had my hand raised again, and I understand you didn't catch it again. So I did text you to make sure that you saw that my hand was raised so
Right,
that I
and
could
that's,
read my recusal.
okay. So, right, so that's what, and that's when I heard the bing and I was looking down, so, yeah. All right, where I am trying to get it. So you would like to read a recusal at this time?
Yep.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Gore.
You're welcome. So for the record, regarding the motion and discussion on motion to engage businesses on Civic Core and motion to send a letter to DMPED to attend SMD meetings and or town halls on Civic Core and to properly answer questions / provide data, I want to state clearly that I do not have a financial conflict of interest in this matter. However, BEGA has issued guidance to the commission advising that when a matter concerning a commissioner's outside affiliated entity comes before the ANC, taking action can implicate the prohibition against the appearance of a conflict and the requirement that our work be done in an impartial manner. As a board member of Chevy Chase Board, I take these ethical standards seriously. Therefore, in strict adherence to BEGA's advisory guidance to cure any potential appearance of a conflict, I am voluntarily recusing myself from these 2 agenda items. To allow the commission to deliberate completely freely, I am going to drop off the meeting at this time. I request that the chair please notify me via text message when the discussion and voting on this matter have concluded so that I may log back in. I ask that the secretary please note this recusal in the official minutes. I will forward my statement so my exact language is included in the official minutes. Thank you, Chair Fennessy, and I stand by for your text.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Gore.
Oh,
Okay, Commissioner Nagy?
well, I'll save it for when Commissioner Gore comes back. I was going to apologize for flagging that her hand was up.
Okay, no, yeah, sometimes it's,
No, it's okay. No,
I see the yellow very clearly and sometimes I don't catch the,
Point
others.
taken. No, point
sorry.
taken. She's
All right.
correct. And
Okay.
point taken, I was going to offer my apology. That's all.
Okay, thank you. All right, Commissioner Sherman, can you consolidate your motion for me? Because I got that I moved that the ANC engage business operators between the Civic Core and Circle. Is that the full extent of your motion? Because there was a lot of what seemed to be background. Can you just consolidate the motion?
Yeah, that's the motion.
Okay, all right. And is there a date by which in your motion or just
Well,
that we engage?
Ideally, it would be within 30 days.
So your motion reads that move that the ANC engage business operators between the Civic Core and the Circle within 30 days.
Well, let me just refine that. To engage business owners and operators between Livingston Street and the Circle.
Between Livingston Street
And the Circle. Mhm.
and the Circle.
Within 30 days.
Okay.
And let's add to that to solicit their views on the proposed Civic Core redevelopment, including the 8,000 square feet of retail space that currently is in the plan.
Okay, I'm going to read this back to you, Commissioner Grunwald. Do I see Commissioner Grunwald? Okay.
I'm listening, yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure that for your records that we're recording this correctly. Commissioner Sherman moved that ANC engage business owners and operators between Livingston Street and the Circle within 30 days to solicit views on the proposed Civic Core development, including the current 8,000 square feet of retail in the plan.
And we could also, in deference to the 2 commissioners in whose districts the businesses are located, indicate that they would, of course, have the lead in organizing that engagement.
Okay.
That would be Commissioners Gosselin and Simmons. So at the very end, you might indicate simply to be organized or the lead for which, whatever would work, by Commissioners Gosselin and Simmons.
All right. Move that the ANC engage business owners and operators between Livingston Street and the Circle within 30 days to solicit views on proposed civic core development, including current 8,000 square feet of retail in the plan, to be organized by Commissioners Goslin and Simmons. Okay. Do we have a second on this motion? Peter Goslin, is that a second?
Yes. And then
Okay.
I'd like to,
All right, and then we have some discussion. I see.
I have oh,
I'm sorry. I see Commissioner Goslin's hand over to my left, so I'll call on him first, and then I see you, Commissioner Simmons. That's the order that y'all are appearing on my screen. Does that seem correct? Okay. All right. Thank you, Commissioner Goslin.
yeah, I just want to update that I have a tentative meeting being organized with my neighbor, Robert Gordon, not for the Thursday, the 7th, or a fallback of Thursday, the 14th, I think. So, I mean, this is already in the works.
Thank you for your proactive work. Commissioner Simmons.
yes, I would like to amend the motion. I don't want it to say Livingston and Connecticut because, as many of you know, I have Broad Branch in my single member district. I have had conversations already over a year ago. Every time I see the business owner at Broad Branch, so I want to make sure that, they're not excluded because people on the avenue also walk to Broad Branch. So
So
I think
how
I would
would you
say
like it to
I
read?
would like it to word brick and mortar businesses, so meaning businesses with storefronts or actual locations, I'm not excluding small businesses, but businesses with physical locations. And I don't have an issue with it being all of Chevy Chase.
So,
I can't
but
think
do
of
you-
any other outside. Yeah.
Do you want to amend? What I hear
Yeah.
you say was to move that ANC engage and then put in the adjective brick and mortar business owners and operators, but did you want to amend the location? Or no?
When you say
Yes.
location, are you referencing Livingston to Chevy
The
Chase
circle,
Yes,
yes.
I want to strike that.
Uh-huh,
That's brick and mortar in
Uh-huh.
Chevy Chase.
in Chevy Chase,
Yeah, because I think the
DC.
original. Yeah, of course. We only do
Okay.
DC business. Yeah.
Okay,
I can't see the motion on screen, so I thought it said the motion already had Chevy Chase in it.
it did not.
Okay, well then I just say brick and mortar. Yeah.
Okay, so Commissioner Simmons, I'm going to read this back as I have, just to make sure that this is correct, has made an amendment to the motion. She moves that we amend the motion to read the ANC engage brick and mortar business owners and operators in Chevy Chase, DC. Then the rest of the motion would continue as before within 30 days to solicit views, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Is that correct, Commissioner Simmons?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, do we have a second to Commissioner Simmons' motion? I see 2 seconds. Okay, all in favor of amending the motion to include brick and mortar businesses in Chevy Chase, DC, indicate by raising a hand to say aye.
Aye.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that would be 6. All those opposed? No abstentions. Okay. And I know Commissioner Sherman, I just, in my Robert's Rules training, they said I had to ask for the nays, even if they were none possible. But okay, so 6-0. Okay, so that amendment now stands. So the motion now reads, move that the ANC engage brick and mortar business owners and operators in Chevy Chase, DC within 30 days to solicit views on proposed civic core development under current including the current 8,000 square foot in retail, to be organized by Commissioners Goslin and Simmons. Do we have discussion on the matter? I'll go to commissioners first. If there are no commissioners at the time, I do see a member of the public. Commissioner Sherman.
Yeah, this is a question for all commissioners, but particularly for Commissioners Goslin and Simmons. While the motion that I've proposed and now has been amended is clear with respect to the engagement that we intend to do, My question to you is,
Point of order, question should be addressed to the chair. Thank you.
so a question to the chair. Do we anticipate that our routine engagement, meaning contacting people by text, by phone, by email, will be sufficient to get an adequate sample of the business community? Would we also want to look at some other type of targeted outreach that might simply be a brief targeted strictly to the brick and mortar business owners and operators, some kind of a survey, simple questionnaire to solicit their views? The aim here, of course, is to be able to come away from this exercise with a reasonably sense of confidence that we have gotten to everybody and we've given everybody a chance to weigh in. I'm just looking for thoughts on that.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Sherman. I am not going to answer that question myself. In my personal opinion, I'm going to go to some people I see with their hands up. Commissioner Gosselin?
Yeah, I think it may be necessary, but I think that we ought to see whether this meeting produces gives us a framework to work with. Robert Gordon has raised questions about whether the 8,000 square feet would cause undue competition with existing businesses. I think we want to see whether that is widely held by business owners on both sides of the street. And I think we can go from there once we get a reading from that meeting. And as for getting a sample, yeah, we're under a lot of time pressure, and so we're going to have to publicizing stuff and getting people out. And I would just say, having tried to get businesses to attend meetings, it's very difficult. I think this is going to take shoe leather, just walking from business to business, getting enough people to come. And I will work on that on my side of the street.
Thank you, Commissioner Gosselin. I see two more commissioners for comments before I have public comment. Commissioner Grunwald?
Yes, I just want to make sure I understand the word engage. So by engaging these business owners, they will be coming to an ANC meeting and telling us what they think about the Civic Core development. Is that it? Or are we just, is Peter and Corinthia just collecting comments from business owners?
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Grunwald, for that question. I will go to the next commissioner on my list, which is Commissioner Simmons.
Hi, yes. For myself, I already engaged with my business owners. I know how to contact them. So based upon the motion that we just passed, my thought of engagement, if, we live in our single member districts, it's easy to talk to the owner at Broad Branch when I go shopping there, which I've done previously. So I intend to engage with my business owners in my single member district based upon this motion and provide the information to the community. So I know, for instance, coming to our ANC meetings may be difficult. So I think working with my constituents and building that relationship and sharing it with my colleagues here on the ANC is how I intend to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Simmons. Commissioner Gosselin?
Yeah, Carol, I think that in the first instance, trying to get them to a meeting with me or with Corinthia and me is a good first step. Depending on the sentiment.
Commissioner Gosselin, just kindly remember that you have to address your remarks to me. I know you're
I'm sorry.
Courteous, yes.
Answering Commissioner Grunwald's question, I think the first step is to get people to come to a meeting with Corinthia and me. If the sentiment is strong, for example, that this retail space would cause a great problem, then yeah, we should all hear that, and I will certainly bring that to the ANC and encourage Robert Gordon and the new business association he is trying to get off the ground to testify.
Thank you. Commissioner Nagy?
Yeah, thank you. I'm hearing two diverging methodologies here, and Commissioner Goslin just said that he was foreseeing a meeting of the business owners with him and with Commissioner Simmons. Commissioner Simmons, I think, suggested otherwise, that she was not planning to have meetings. She was planning to walk to businesses and talk to them, not in a meeting, but individually. And I guess I'd just like to know what kind of engagement we might expect from this undertaking between the two of them.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Nagy. It's possible to have two valid approaches and complementary and supplementary. Commissioner Grunwald and Commissioner Goslin?
Yes, Chair Fennessy, I would like you to please ask Commissioner Sherman if this is the kind of engagement that he is envisioning for his motion, just to have Corinthia and Peter walking and chatting with business owners. I was under the impression that Commissioner Sherman wanted to gather business owners together so that they could come tell the ANC how they feel about things. Thank you.
Sorry, a question has been posed to me as to, could you elaborate? Because in your motion, it did say engage and it didn't specify a method. Do you have further thoughts that were informing your motion?
Yeah, well, given what we've done in the past, where we've had, for example, when we discussed, debated, ultimately approved the bottle bill resolution, we had business owners come before the commission and articulate their views so that everybody could hear them. I think it's important in this particular instance because of the 8,000 square feet of space, because the civic core is going to be so prominent on the avenue, that we have some kind of a record of what our business owners and operators are saying. I recognize the challenges of getting people to meetings. We get what we get. We get what we get when we hold this meeting. There are 37 people on this call, and there are 14,200 residents in Chevy Chase. So I'm well aware of the limitations in getting people to come. On the other hand, I think it's important to give people an opportunity to participate and for members of the community to also hear what business owners and operators have to say. And then if we have this meeting, of course, it is memorialized as part of the record. So back to my motion, I did not specify that it be a meeting per se. That is what I had in mind, and I could have been more specific, and we could amend it to be more specific. I'm not taking away that Commissioners Goslin and Simmons have relationships with their business owners and routinely engage them. I'm here looking at the opportunity for our community as a whole to hear from them, as well as Commissioners Simmons and Goslin.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Sherman. Commissioner Goslin and then Simmons. And then I do see Mary Rouse, and we'll try to give you some time there, but let's try to be quick because we are running a little bit behind.
Yeah, I agree. Let me just say, I intend to have a meeting, and a meeting that's open to the public. And I, as I say, with regard to Commissioner Sherman's comments, particularly if there are strong sentiments either way or distinctive sentiments, I do think that those ought to be expressed not by me, not secondhand, but to the commission. But if you would let us take these first steps, I think that will give us a better framework for handling this aspect of the community center library development.
Okay, thank you. Mary Rouse?
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. I just wanted to say a couple of things. One is I'm disappointed that the chat is disabled again at this meeting, and I would urge the ANC not to do that. It's a very efficient way to hear from people in the audience who may not want to have to speak to everyone. Secondly, I would want to mention another thing, that the Safeway grocery store is about 9,000 square feet. So just imagine if we got an 8,000 square foot commercial operation at the community center, that's almost as large as our Safeway. And the most important thing I want to say is that Chevy Chase Main Street exists to help in situations like this. And I urge the Chevy Chase ANC to compose a letter to all the 60-some businesses that are members of Main Street, as far as I can tell, and create a letter that puts everything on the record verbally. We need record. People aren't going to come to meetings. There maybe a handful might. I remember the unfortunate experience and the bottle bill hearing or meeting when Mr. Yoon was like the only one there who was fighting to get that bill not to be supported by the ANC. So anyway, I would just simply say that the ANC should compose a very clear letter to the community and work on it like it might be another survey, that the questions are very clearly asked and thought about carefully, so that we get the same responses to the extent that people are willing to provide them to the same questions, and they can be evaluated as documents. And these people don't have to come to meetings. They might have to be interviewed individually if they don't respond to the letters, which is quite possible. But in the end, I think it's going to be much more efficient for everyone's time than to go door to door hoping to find a manager or somebody on duty who's going to be willing to answer a question at that time. It's going to probably be necessary to follow it up with a phone call or individual interview, but that everybody should receive a letter, probably hand-delivered if necessary, and just get that information written down either by the interviewer or by the person in the store, so that there can be a record of these answers. And the questions to be posed to these people should be carefully thought out, so it's not random.
Thank you, Mary. Peter Goslin. Peter, you are still muted. Yeah.
That's a good idea, and I'll be happy to work with Anna Claire Walker on that communication.
Okay. And I see one more question from Ron Khan, and then perhaps we are ready to call the question on this. All right, Mr. Khan.
Thank you. I assume you can hear me, and hopefully it is a dumb question. What do we know about the 8K business plan, and should this information first be gained from the proposal from RIF before discussing impact from local businesses, since it's an unknown, or is it a known? It seems like that will greatly assist as you talk to businesses regarding what exactly does this entail. And then there could be a more useful discussion. So I'm just wondering if you can nail that down a bit before you meet with the businesses in Chevy Chase.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. All right, I have Commissioner Nagy and then Commissioner Goslin. Sorry, am I in the wrong order? Is it Commissioner Goslin first?
Yeah, I think it was Commissioner Goslin first.
Okay.
Chair Finney.
No, I thought it was Commissioner Simmons had her hand up. Ron, that's a very fair question, and we're very thin on information there. There have been a number of ideas floated around, not by Rift Valley, but by others about possibly talking to the developer about committing to putting in only small businesses, maybe even a business that would be a sort of local outlet that, for example, would take the book sale out of the library and free up space in the library. But Rift Valley has not provided us with detailed information yet about what they envisioned the retail space to be like.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Nagy.
Yeah, I would like to ask the chair to restate the motion, and then I believe I'd like to call the question.
I will restate the motion as amended. The amendment passed. Move that the ANC engage brick and mortar business owners and operators in Chevy Chase, DC within 30 days to solicit views on proposed Civic Core development, including the current 8,000 square feet of retail in the plan, to be organized by Commissioners Goslin and Simmons. That is
See.
what you asked me to read.
No, it is. I'm sorry. I'll wait on calling the question for a
Okay.
minute.
Commissioner Simmons?
Yes, I was gonna ask if we could continue with our commission business.
Would you like to call the question, and that would force us to vote on whether we are ready to vote, and then we will have to vote.
What are we voting on? We already voted on the motion. The motion passed.
Uh, It didn't, the amendment passed.
So I call the question that we vote on the motion.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we have, so all calling the question is not debatable. All those in favor of voting on this amendment now, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
1, 2, 3. We have 3 hands down. All those opposed, say nay. 1, 2.
Chair
Okay.
Fennessy, point of order, the first vote had 4.
I'm sorry. Can I?
The first,
Can
yeah.
we
Can you call the vote
recount all
again?
those say aye? Did we have 4?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. I saw
Commissioner,
Simmons.
Commissioner Nagy hand was up during the vote.
That was the
And then,
mistake. I'm sorry. That
Okay.
Commissioner Fennessy, Chair Fennessy, that was in error. My apologies.
Okay, because I counted 3, Goslin, Simmons, and Fennessy. And then nays, I had Sherman and Grunewald. And was there an abstention?
Chair Fennessy,
Commissioner Nagy, I didn't see your vote.
Oh, sorry. No, nay.
It was nay. Okay, so
Chair Fennessy,
yes.
initially the vote, the commissioner hand was raised during the yeses. There was, I would call a second vote. Initially, it was 4-2.
Okay, I did not see 4 hands up. I
Yeah,
saw 3.
When you replay the tape, you'll see it, but it was 4-2.
I explain, Commissioner Fennessy, if I may. I explained that was a mistake.
Okay, this is out of my
Yeah.
I mean, because I honestly saw 3 when I looked. I counted 3. Okay.
Okay. So since there
All right.
is
So if the
some
motion
conversation, we
to
call the vote.
if the motion to call the vote passes, then we must vote right now on this motion.
Okay.
So I would call it a second vote to recount, just to count it. Can we have a voice vote, please? Commissioner Sherman,
What are we voting on, please?
to call the question, are we going to vote?
Oh,
Are we going to vote right now? Are we still going to keep talking? Or are we going to vote? So Commissioner Sherman,
No.
Commissioner Grunewald,
no.
Commissioner Fennessy says yes. Commissioner Simmons,
Yes.
Commissioner Goslin,
Yes.
Commissioner Nagy.
No.
No. Okay, so we do with the call the question, you have to pass by 2/3, which in this case is 4 people, so the motion fails. So we will still keep talking about the motion. All right, Commissioner Sherman.
Yeah, I would like to propose, given the conversation we've had, which I think has been constructive, an amendment to incorporate the suggestion that Mary Rouse made,
Yes.
that it be part of our motion to solicit the views of the community as she suggested. So I would I propose an amendment to do that. That is
How
to
would-
say,
How would your amendment read?
my amendment would read that the commission will undertake outreach by way of letter to the business owners, sort of brick and mortar, the language that we've used previously in Chevy Chase, to solicit their views on the Civic Core redevelopment, the matters that are contained already in the motion. The simple addition here is to use the methodology of
Point of
reaching out.
order, no discussion. Point of order.
What?
So I'm trying to get the language of it. And so what Commissioner Simmons is saying is that you don't discuss it and explain it, you just give me the language. So can you clarify your language that you want in the amendment,
Right.
please?
Right. It is to include in the outreach a
Mhm.
letter to the business owners and operators soliciting their views, in addition to walking and talking to them and otherwise engaging them, which Commissioner Goslin had indicated he could support.
Could I offer Chair Finney, could I offer, before we get that seconded and then have to do an amendment to the amendment, Commissioner Sherman, would you add in conjunction with Chevy Chase Main Street?
Yes.
This was Mary Rouse's suggestion.
Yes,
So,
no, that's fine. I'm just trying to recapture it. So yes, absolutely.
Fine, then I second it. I mean, you know.
Okay, so I'm going to see if I captured this right. So now we have amended the previously amended a motion that says we move that the ANC engage in outreach to brick and mortar business owner operators by letters and visits in conjunction with Chevy Chase Main Street within 30 days. So we have by letter and visits in conjunction with Chevy Chase Main Street. Did I capture that out accurately?
Yep.
Because you already had the soliciting the views later. So the two things that changed were by letters and visits in conjunction with Chevy Chase Main Street. Is that correct?
It's fine with me.
Is that correct? Commissioner Sherman, it was your proposed
fine.
amendment. Is that,
Fine.
did I capture it correctly enough?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so let us, do we have a second to this amendment? A second?
Me.
Okay, is there discussion on this amendment? Because I see 3 hands raised. Commissioner Sherman, may I go to the other commissioners for discussion first?
Yes.
Commissioner Grunwald.
Yes, don't we, Chair Finney, don't we have to be a little specific about what we are asking these brick and mortar business owners to respond to? Are we asking them to come to a meeting? Are we asking them to fill out a survey? Are we asking them a very general question about whether they approve of the Civic Core? I think we just have to kind of say what we're writing the letter about.
I think
what we're asking them. Thank you.
I think in order for this motion to pass, we do not. It is to be organized. Part of the motion says to be organized by Commissioners Goslin and Simmons. So perhaps they would be able to work out the specifics of that. If we wanted to continue this conversation for even longer, I'm sure we could, but perhaps it would be best if they did that offline. Commissioner Goslin?
I'd just like to say, I think we know what the issues are. I mean, I know there's a great deal of distrust. I know we're a deeply divided commission, but honestly, I think we do know what questions need to be asked about this. And they will not only be asked in this letter, they will be asked in meetings that you can attend. And as I say, if the meetings show a direction, interesting divisions, important divisions, or an important sentiment, it absolutely should be brought before the ANC. I just don't think we need to compose the letter tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we have now a second amendment to the motion to make it read that we move that the ANC engage in outreach with brick and mortar business owners and operators by letter and visits in conjunction with Chevy Chase Main Street within 30 days to solicit the views. And then nothing has changed there. Do I have a second? Do we have a second?
Didn't I second Commissioner Sherman? That's Commissioner Sherman's amendment.
Did you second it? I'm sorry. It's been a little convoluted. If you second it, that's great. Okay. Do we all in favor of this motion? Please say aye.
Point of order. Is this the amendment, or is this the bottom line motion?
This would be the amendment.
This is the amendment, and then we can just vote on the whole package because we put it all together. Okay, so we're asking, do we want to put in the language by letter and visit in conjunction with Chevy Chase Main Street? Okay.
Right.
All in favor, say aye. Okay, all those opposed? Nay, 6-0, that amendment passes. Now we go back to the main motion, which has been amended twice, but I think we're there. Move that the ANC engage in outreach of brick and mortar business owners and operators by letter and visit in conjunction with Chevy Chase Main Street to solicit within 30 days to solicit views on proposed civic core development, including the current 8,000 square feet of retail in the plan to be managed by Commissioners Goslin and Simmons. Okay, so that was Commissioner Sherman's now amended motion. Do we have a second? A motion that we pass that. Do we have a second? Commissioner Nagy? Yes. Commissioner Goslin?
No, I thought we've had seconds to all of the
Yes.
amendments.
Okay,
So we
all right.
There were
second the original
three
motion
people.
vote,
Okay,
right?
all those in favor? 6. All those opposed? Nay. All right, it passes 6-0. Thank you very much. And I look forward to you're having some interesting and robust conversations with the business owners. Commissioner Nagy, is that a question before I go to the next item of business? No? Okay. All right. So the next item of business on the agenda, and we are now running behind by about 20 minutes. So
Point of order.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Don't we need to bring Commissioner Gore back?
No. There are 2 items of business that she asked to be recused from.
I see.
And
I'm
this is
sorry.
the second of the 2.
I'm
So
sorry.
when we finish that one, but please do remind me if I forget, because I don't want to leave her out there. Okay, so a motion to send a letter to DEMPED to attend an ANC meeting and promptly answer questions and provide data about the Civic Core. So that is the motion that I would like to make. I sent a letter out, and because of some recent developments, the text went out yesterday. So I would be happy to take a second if there's a second, and then we can discuss. Do I have a second for that motion to send a letter to DEMPED? All right. So now discuss. Commissioner Simmons.
Yes, I would like to amend the motion to table this item until our next meeting on May 11th to allow all commissioners the opportunity to review and provide feedback on the letter.
Okay, so Commissioner Simmons would like to amend the motion to table to May 11th. Is there a second? I do not see a second, so that amendment fails. Okay, back to the discussion of the original motion. Does anyone have questions about the letter that I can answer? The letter basically goes back through the history of our asking DEMPED to talk with us in January. They said no. We asked again in February. They said no. We asked again in April. And then at the same time, this very evening, we learned this weekend that the Office of Planning is engaging with another group over in Ward 3, but they are still not coming to talk with us. So I was pretty pointed about that. Commissioner Goslin.
Point of order, my hand was still raised. It was raised before Commissioner Goslin.
Oh, I'm sorry. Commissioner Simmons.
Yes, thank you. So I have some concerns in regards to this letter. First, in how it's written, I can't support the letter. Second, I did not have an opportunity to review the letter. This is my discussion. I did not have an opportunity to review the letter. It was provided at 9:42. We haven't even provided the community with this letter, at least to my knowledge. I didn't see it on the website. Given the importance of this issue, I believe that we should have a more inclusive and equitable process for people in reviewing letters and information from the ANC so that everyone has sufficient time. Based upon what was provided last night, I have the impression that other commissioners had an opportunity to review the letter. Last meeting, this issue came up in regards to Go Vocal. Second, I have concerns about the tone and the effectiveness of the letter. If our goal is to have the district engage with us, our correspondence should be concise, professional, and have focused on constructive dialogue. As it is written, this may not provide the best position for us to have the outcome for DC agencies to engage with us. Third, I think there are some factual, some issues in the letter that are not factual. For example, we are asking DMPED to come to our May 11th meeting. On April 10th, Ms. Owens provided us an email response to our last letter stating that DMPED is unavailable to meet with us in April and May, yet we're asking them to meet with us in May. Ms. Owens' email also stated that they would be provided in meeting with us in June. Next, information in the letter that's not factual is that we are comparing two different agencies. Our letter states that Office of Planning and DMPED are ignoring us yet, and this is verbatim, they're ignoring us yet they're meeting with other special interest groups, yada, yada, yada. Those are two separate DC agencies. So implying that DMPED is denying to meet with us to in turn meet with other groups in Ward 3 is an inaccurate statement. And then I think finally, for our letter to be effective, we are working with executives or high, individuals in our DC government agencies. We should just send specific questions to them and ask them to answer. Had I been given more time to provide my comments, I could have provided these comments in writing. I could have edited the letter. However, I did not have that opportunity. So I welcome the opportunity to collaboratively work with the commission on a letter that is more professional and clear in hopes of us getting the answer that we would like. And I also think the letter continues to say that DMPED does not want to meet with us. They have not explicitly said that. If we go back to February, DMPED wanted to meet with us. Then we said, no, don't come meet with us. So I just want to make sure that how we're communicating with DC agencies is a good tone that gives us the results that we would like. How the letter is written will not provide us with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Simmons. Commissioner Nagy.
Thank you. I have a comment and then a couple of comments and then some questions. I think that there was an implication that some commissioners had access to the draft of this letter before other commissioners, and I'd just like to say I did not have access to this letter until it was sent to all the commissioners. So I just want to make that point. I also think that we have tried very hard not to take DMPED to task and OP to task for not meeting with us, and that has not resulted in any better outcome that you would hope to get from trying to be, I don't want to say, trying to be conciliatory. Right, conciliation just hasn't helped. We asked them to record the February 28th meeting, and they declined to do that. So I had access. I had it recorded and then put it up on the listserv because DMPED refused to do that. So I don't see how conciliation work there. I don't think conciliation has worked at all. We've asked numerous times for DEMPED to come and talk to us. I personally have asked Nina Albert to come and talk to us, and that's not working. So I think, a different tact is probably called for here, and if there are factual inaccuracies in this letter, I guess we need to correct them. But other than that, I don't see that continuing to try to appease DEMPED is going to yield any different results from the ones we've already had, which are definitely not the results that we were hoping for.
Thank you, Commissioner Gosselin.
Just so I understand where we stand. Chair Fennessy, did you send this letter already? No, you have not. All right.
I can send it as an individual and strike
I
on
was
behalf of the
confused.
commission, but I wanted to see if I had the support of the commission behind it and advise them before. So I have not sent it out.
I understand the disappointment with DEMPED responding to us and coming to the meeting. Chair Fennessy, I've suggested this before. I think we very much need the answers to the questions, and so I would separate the two. That's what as I've tried to put as much information as you can cull from what we have been presented by Rift Valley and the district together in the information and feedback site that I tried to create on GoVocal. Most of these questions arose, and it's pretty hard to make any judgment without answers to those questions. And so I would encourage us to ship those as separately. Frankly, I do think I would vote for also a separate letter that said, meanwhile, you really disappoint us in not coming to our meeting. I will say that Commissioner Simmons' point about the event at the Tenley Library with the Coalition for Smart Growth is absolutely right. The Office of Planning, staff that's presenting there is working on the comp plan, if I understand it correctly, which is something. It's something that the current comp plan brought us what we have before us today. But I mean, this is something for the far future. These are two different units of government working. So for what it's worth, so I would divide the questions and the letter, but I will vote for the letter standing separately.
Thank you for your comments. Commissioner Sherman, and then I'll speak.
Yeah, I would suggest that Chair Fennessy, that if Commissioner Simmons has edits to the letter that she would like to propose, that she do so.
Thank you, Commissioner Sherman. So I just want to respond here. I don't think that I agree with Commissioner Nagi's point that the tone at this point, I'm not inclined to be conciliatory. It's not gotten us anywhere. I spoke very cordially with Daniel Lyons, and we went back and forth. We were going towards a meeting in February, and then it's like, boop, we've decided to go a different direction with no explanation. And they still aren't giving us details about this project. It's huge. And it's interesting that we have this, an imminent project coming up that we can't get meeting on our turf with, hosted by the elected representatives of the people, but then a project that is much longer distance, the 2050 comp plan, gets time from agencies. These people at these city agencies, they work for us. We pay their salaries. And if you look at the organizational chart, yes, they report to their mayor, but the mayor reports to us, but they have refused to come and talk to us. And we need information. This is probably the biggest a development that's going to hit our area, and we aren't getting talked to. And I think they need to come talk to us. I can send for sure. I'll send the questions. I can consider holding off the letter for a couple of days to take suggestions, but as to edits, but I will immediately ask the questions because they don't show any indication. And I think it's perfectly ridiculous that they say they have no date in April and May that they can come meet with us. They say they have absolutely no date. They are not willing to meet with us until June 9th when they want to have DCPL come and DPR come. And they know perfectly well.
Point of order.
Point of order?
Yes.
What's your point?
The point is that this discussion is going beyond it. The June 9th meeting is not related to the actual full Civic Core project. The June 9th is related to only DCPL and DPR.
No, that is not correct because in the Latrina
I was at the meeting with you.
In the letter from Latrina Owens to me, she said that they would be at the meeting on June 9th. But the meeting on June 9th, and this is part of what you're saying is correct, because the meeting on June 9th is to focus on DCPL and DPR. DMPED intends to come to that meeting, but they are naive to think that without having discussed anything.
Point of order, Robert Rules of Order. You're saying they intend. You're mentioning bad intent of DMPED.
No, I'm saying they intend to come to the meeting about DCPL and DCPR and DPR. They wrote that they plan to come to the meeting. That is an intention. It's a plan to come.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're planning to come to this meeting, but not having had any prior discussion about housing and the other issues that are related to it, like traffic and parking. And so if you have residents who have all these concerns and unanswered questions about housing, about traffic, about parking, about servicing with trash pickup, it will be very difficult, I think, for our constituents to focus only on the things that actually they're probably generally really happy about, which is the new library and the new rec center and those positives, without knowing, for example, where those things will be spaced, where they will be, because without knowing the whole site plan, the library doesn't know where it's going to be on the site. The park doesn't know where it's going to be on the site. They don't know if they're going to be underground. And to say that we're going to jump to these things without having talked about the larger issue of the housing, it's like saying we're not going to talk about the elephant in the room. And I do think we need to address them. So Commissioner Nagy.
I was just going to say, I'm wondering if the point of order is not well taken in that case.
About the intention to meet?
The point of order about germaneness, the point of order about intention. I'm puzzled by both of them.
Yeah, I think the point of order about intention is not well taken because they do intend to come to the meeting as per Latrina Owens. Some intentions are plans, some intentions are internal motives, and in this case, I was using the connotation of the plan.
Well, there was another, excuse me if I may, there was another point about the June 9th meeting not being germane, and I think that might also not be correct.
Okay, thank you. I will say that point is not well taken. Commissioner Grunwald.
Yes, thank you, Chair Fennessy. I would just like to say that I agree with everything that you just said. I agree with you 1,000%. And I would like to just add that I would like to just, if you are sending out your questions, if we decide that you're going to send out the questions separately from a letter, I would just like to see if I could add a couple of questions to your very good list. Thank you.
Thank you. We will have to see. There's a possibility that might have to go in an amendment to the motion. But hold on for that thought because I think there's still some more discussion. Commissioner Gosselin, I don't believe has talked. Have you talked yet on this, Commissioner Gosselin? I just want to make sure that
Probably
No?
have, but then.
Okay, all right, then I'll go to Commissioner
Yes.
Simmons first.
Yes, I call the vote on the amendment to send the letter.
There,
Called.
there wasn't an amendment to send the letter. There wasn't an.
My question to my initial amendment was to send the letter. That failed. Then there was amendment. Then your initial was brought to the table. It was seconded. I'm calling the vote to send the letter.
To send the letter to DEMPED.
Yes.
Okay. So all those that for a call, calling the vote to send the letter to DEMPED is not debatable.
Point of order. Are we sending, is the letter as written or as corrected or what?
There had been no amendment to it before Commissioner Simmons had called the question.
Okay.
So when we call the question, then we vote whether we want to vote right now. That's what calling the question means.
Sure.
So if 4 of us vote that we want to vote right now, then we take the vote right now.
And that letter uncorrected goes out. Okay.
Unchanged.
Yeah, unchanged.
Yes, unchanged. Okay. So thank you. Okay. So Commissioner Goslin, I'm sorry, Commissioner.
To be a second, Commissioner Fish.
Excuse me, Commissioner Nagy. Commissioner Simmons called the question. Is there
to be a second? Sorry.
That's Commissioner Nagy. Thank
Sorry.
you.
Yep.
I'm getting there. Thank you.
Sorry. Yep.
Okay.
Sorry.
Commissioner Simmons called the question. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. So all those in favor of calling the question, which means voting on the letter right now, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All those opposed, say nay. Okay. So the calling the question fails, so the debate can continue. Commissioner Goslin.
Given that Commissioner Simmons says there's some inaccuracies in the letter, and given that I think that it's very important we get the questions off, would a way forward be that we divide the letter, we give Commissioner Simmons and other commissioners 48 hours to edit, but we get the questions off to DEMPED immediately. I suggest that I guess as an amendment to your original motion. You're a mute.
Yeah. All right. If I hear what you're saying, and I don't want to put words in that mouth, but it sounds like you want to amend the original motion to send the letter to strike out the word letter and to motion to send the list of questions to DEMPED
Immediately.
to promptly answer.
Or could if we're working on this, I mean, Commissioner Grunwald suggested she wanted to add some questions. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
okay. So then I suggest that we send the questions immediately and give 48 hours for people to edit to react to the letter.
Okay. So you would amend my original motion to say motion to send DEMPED the list of questions to promptly answer. And then if we strike out the letter part, then we can make a separate motion on, we can go back to that. So do we want to, so we have the amendment, it'd be the motion to strike out letter and say, send DEMPED the list of questions to promptly answer.
Yes. Do I need a second for that?
You do.
Do I have a second?
You have Commissioner Grunwald. All those in favor of changing the motion to send DEMPED a list of questions to promptly answer, say aye.
I'm not sure what I'm voting on. So
You're
Are we
voting.
we
what
only
you-
vote on questions and the letter is going to be another motion?
Correct. That was a motion so we struck out letter, motion to send DEMPED the list of questions to promptly answer. The list of questions was appended to the letter.
Okay, and I'm sorry, before we move further, this is the list of questions that were provided at 9:42 p.m. Or are we discussing developing another list of questions
It is that list of questions.
that
It's
was
a-
provided last night?
No.
Not amended. Okay.
Not amended. Okay, so that was,
Just that I'm also so that I'm clear on this. So we're proposing here to send the questions to DEMPED. Correct? As written.
correct.
change.
That's all this motion will have now.
Okay.
If anything else is requested about a letter, that will now need to be in a separate motion if this amendment passes. If the amendment fails, we go back to the letter.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So Peter Gosselin has made this amendment. Commissioner Grunwald has seconded it. All those in favor of sending DEMPED the list of questions to promptly answer, say aye. Okay, 2. All those opposed to sending the list of questions, say nay. All those abstaining?
Whoa.
Okay, that's an interesting one. Okay, haven't seen that one before. Okay, give me a minute. All right, so that fails. So now we go back to our original motion. The original motion is to send the letter to DEMPED asking to send the letter to DEMPED and to answer the questions. We have discussed this. We have discussed, Commissioner Simmons feels that there has expressed concern that there are some things that are could be better about the letter. Commissioner Sherman.
Yes, I'll reiterate, Chair Fennessy, that if Commissioner Simmons wishes to correct anything in the letter, to suggest an amendment to correct any inaccuracies that she feels are in the letter, that she could do so now, so that the letter can be corrected, and then we can consider that to vote on.
So Commissioner Sherman makes a motion to allow Commissioner Simmons to make any proposed changes now. You want to, that's your amendment?
I'm clarifying factual clarifications. If
I
there's anything,
think if Commissioner Simmons wanted to make an amendment to the letter at this time, that would be the way to do it. She would just, she would need to say, like, I want to amend the letter to read blah, 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 and we would have to go through a particular change as an amendment. Given the length and details of the considerations that she had, I don't know that that would be time effective, but I'm happy to go through if you want. Commissioner Simmons?
Yes, I would like to remind the commission that when we began this discussion, I made a motion that we postpone this letter until our next meeting on May 8th so that I could provide input to the letter. That amendment failed, and therefore I no longer have any edits or input to this letter. Not Johnny on the spot. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Nagy?
Thank you. I'm perplexed because having raised the specter of factual errors in this letter, which it seems to me implies that it was read carefully enough to discern where there are factual errors. we are now not unable to ascertain from the commissioner what those errors might be. I don't understand.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Nagy. Commissioner Grunwald?
Yes, Chair Finney, I'm wondering, this is an impossibility to write a letter and deal with this as a large group. I'm wondering if you would consider, reviewing your letter with a couple of commissioners, perhaps, out of this meeting, to correct any deficiencies or, correct any inaccuracies, and then send the letter under your own name, as opposed to from the commission, because we could be here all night picking this stuff apart. And it's crazy to have to write a letter by committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Grunwald. That's an interesting thought. Commissioner Gosselin?
Well, until Commissioner Grunwald's remark, my impression had been that we were heading towards sending the letter. So I think we ought to just take a vote on that. I think sending it as an individual commissioner is considerably less powerful than sending it as a commission. I think it's unfortunate we can't divide the two, the questions and the letter, but I do think that you lose a lot of ground if it's just a letter from Commissioner Finney.
Thank you, Commissioner
I
Gore.
second the motion for the vote. You call a question of Chair Finney.
Why don't we do
Call the
that?
question.
Okay. But I do call a question. I mean, can we
Okay.
get on with, I mean.
Okay.
Second.
All right, so call the question. The motion is to send the letter to DEMPAD as is. Okay, and Commissioner Gosselin motioned and Commissioner Simmons seconded it. Okay, Commissioner Sherman, your hand is up if you want to put it down because we're in a vote right now. Okay, all those in favor of sending the letter as is, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay?
Nope, sorry, no.
Wait, I'm going to see hands again because I'm not sure where they are.
And
Okay.
Chair Finney, you're calling into question for us to vote on sending the letter. So we're not voting on sending the letter as is right now. We're voting on to take the vote of the letter.
I'm sorry. All right. So we're voting on whether to take the vote on the letter. Carol Grunwald, put your hands down. So are we taking the vote now on the letter? All right. So all those in favor of taking the vote now on the letter, say aye. Okay, that's 6. All those opposed, say nay. Commissioner Grunwald, is your hand up or down for the nay? Commissioner Grunwald, your hand is still raised. All right, so now we'll take the vote on whether to send the letter. Okay. All those in favor of sending the letter? Do we have a second? Okay. So all those in favor, pardon? Yeah. All those in favor of sending the letter now as is, say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Okay.
Nay.
Hang on.
I'm sorry, 5-1, so the letter will be sent. Okay, thank you. Let me pause for a moment and contact Commissioner Gore to bring her back because the next meeting item
Chair
is...
Finney, can I be recognized? I've had my hand up for probably a half an hour or longer. There has never been any attempt to get discussion from the audience. Why are we here? Aren't we here to participate in this? Why do you have discussion and
Point of order,
have 5 and
Chair.
6 people talking and then nobody from the
Point of
audience
order,
is ever
Chair.
called upon?
Okay.
Point of order.
And we have people procedurally trying to drag this meeting down so that I don't think many people are
Point
going to
of
ever
order,
attend
Chair.
any more
Commissioner-
ANC meetings
sorry,
if they're
Mary.
held like this.
Okay, Mary, when we when we have votes and we are debating, then we actually, the commissioners are the ones who are supposed to be speaking.
Chair
Okay.
Fennessy, you
Commissioner-
May I speak?
Commissioner
didn't
Simmons?
mention on
May
my
I
point of
speak?
order. You
Sorry,
didn't respond to my point of order, Chair Fennessy.
Okay, I've got two people yelling at me. All right, and two people interrupting. I can't hear in stereo. It doesn't work. So Commissioner Simmons,
I had called a
what's
point
your
of
point?
order, a disruptive, so I was asking you to take order
Right,
of the meeting. It was
right,
being
and I'm,
disruptive. Yeah, and usually
yes,
I think you're supposed to say point of order well taken and then address it.
I'm supposed to ask, what's your point?
Okay, that's
Yeah,
not
I'm
having like
trying, okay,
a
we're trying
ear
to get there.
dispenser.
All right, let me please contact
Okay.
Commissioner Gore.
We'll find it somewhere. It's somewhere around.
I've texted Commissioner Gore and she should be coming back soon. The next item is discussion, review, and next steps for the RACE committee. And Commissioner Gore should be back shortly. Yeah, she's coming back. Okay, great. Commissioner Gore is back on. So now we have discussion, review, and next steps for the RACE committee. Commissioner Gore, Simmons, which one of y'all would like to start?
I'll start.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So I'll start with putting a motion on the floor. I move that ANC 34G formally dissolve the Racial and Social Equity Standing Committee as requested by its resigning members' April 15th resignation letter, and who concluded that the ANC current environment prevents the committee from meaningfully fulfilling its mission. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. And Commissioner Fennessy, Chair Fennessy, before speaking to my motion, I want to ask for unanimous consent that the full text of the members' April 15th resignation letter be appended to the official minutes of the meeting so that their complete rationale is preserved in the record.
Commissioner Gore, could I trouble you to please read the text of your motion so I can just write it down?
Yes.
Okay.
I move that ANC 34G
Mhm.
formally dissolve the Racial and Social Equity Standing Committee
Mhm.
as requested by its resigning members' April 15th resignation letter, and who concluded that the current ANC environment prevents the committee from meaningfully fulfilling its mission. And then secondary to that, and before speaking to the motion, I'm asking for unanimous consent that the full text of the members' April 15th resignation letter be appended to the official minutes of this meeting so their complete rationale is preserved in the record.
Point of order, please.
What's your point? Please
I
state your
believe,
point.
yes, I believe that Commissioner Gore should consider recusing herself from this discussion.
Thank you, Commissioner Grunwald. Recusal is up to each commissioner as per their understanding of the bylaws, the DC code, and any BEGA guidance. So I will defer to the commissioner on that. Okay, not hearing any response, we will move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. So all the commissioners got a copy of the resignation letter from the members of the Racial and Social Equity Committee. It's also been posted. I know it's not posted on the ANC's website, but it has been widely posted in the community. So I won't read it. And hearing no objections on the consent, we'll just append it to the minutes. So I will ask if there are any commissioners or any community members that have any discussion on the matter.
Commissioner Nagy?
Commissioner Fennessy, is Commissioner Gore now leading this discussion? And I do object to having it appended to the minutes, so it's not unanimous.
Okay. So, Commissioner Gore,
Yes.
that the letter be appended to the minutes, that's all part of the one motion, correct?
No.
They're-
And actually, since Commissioner Nagy objected, I'm making an additional motion. So the question is now that I move that the April 15th resignation letter be appended to the official minutes. Is there a second for that?
We'll have to do with the first motion first, and then we can go to that motion later. But we still have the motion on the table to dissolve the race committee. And so we'll have to go with that other motion second, while we talk about dissolving the race committee first. Okay.
You can do that.
Okay, Commissioner Nagy,
Yep, sorry.
and the
I meant to
motion
look.
to dissolve the race committee is on the floor. Did you want to speak to that, or?
I can speak to it. I'm absolutely not in favor of dissolving
Okay.
the RASE committee.
Okay. All right. Are there any other commissioners who wish to speak on this topic? Okay, I do see members of the community, but as per our other discussion where we had the letter to DEMPED, and when we have a motion and we're discussing that official business, the conversation is for the commissioners.
Chair Kennedy, I have my hair raised in case you can't see it.
Thank you. Commissioner Gore?
Yes, so I would like for the commission to honor the resigning members' request. The letter they wrote was on their own accord as members of the ANC's race committee. They have expressed concerns before the ANC. They've expressed individual concerns to members. I believe some of them expressed concerns to you, Chair Fennessy. And we have 11 members that have expressed the need to move out of this environment and for the good of the community and of this committee and what it was historically founded upon, feel that the best way to move forward is to sunset the committee. So I think that the commission should honor that and honor their wish and sunset the committee.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Grunewald?
Gore. Oh, I'm sorry. You were saying thank Commissioner Grunwald is next.
Yes. Yeah.
No problem.
Yes, I'd like to move the vote. I'd like to call the vote, please.
Okay, and the term you use is call the question.
Call the question. Thank
I'd
you.
like to call the question. So when we call the question, we are actually deciding whether we are ready to vote at this time. It has to be by a 2/3 majority, and it's not debatable. So if we have our quorum of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we have all of us here, so that we'll need 5 people to move the vote right now. Okay, so is there a second to Commissioner Grunewald's call the question?
Second.
Okay, there is a second. All right, all those in favor of calling the question, that means we move to a vote right now, please say aye.
Aye.
1, 2, 3. Okay, please put your hands down. All those opposed, say nay.
Nay.
That's 1. All those abstaining? 1. 5, 1, and 1. So the question is called. That motion passes. So now we will take a vote. The motion was to formally dissolve, and I hope I got all this right, but I think I did. Formally dissolve the RACE Standing Committee as requested by the resigning members in the April 15th resignation, who concluded that the current environment prevents the committee from meaningfully concluding its mission. The main action part is that we would be formally dissolving the RACE committee. All those.
Excuse me, I'm just to clarify, please.
Mhm.
So if we vote yes, we are voting to dissolve the committee. If we vote no, we're voting not to dissolve the committee. Is that it?
That is correct. The motion is to dissolve. So yes, you dissolve it. No, you don't dissolve it.
Thank you.
Abstain, you abstain. Okay. So all those in favor of formally dissolving the RACE committee, please say aye or raise your hand. Okay, I see 3. All those opposed, please indicate by saying no. Raise your hand. 4. And there are no abstentions. So by a vote of 3 to 4, the motion fails. The committee is not dissolved. Commissioner Gore had indicated that a second motion that she wanted to have a letter appended to the minutes. Commissioner Gore, would you be so kind as to read that motion again so that we can record it and discuss and or vote?
Sure. The motion is, I move that the April 15th resignation letter be appended to the official minutes of this meeting. Is there a second?
Goslin, second.
Okay. So it was moved and seconded. Okay. Is there any discussion about appending the letter to the minutes? Okay, I'm calling only on commissioners. I do see members of the community with their hands up, but this is an official business, so we're keeping it to commissioners right now. Okay, Commissioner Grunewald, I see your hand.
Yes, I'd like to call the question, please.
Okay, so if we call the question, then that means we are voting to end debate and take the vote. And we would need 5 people to pass that. Is there a second to call the question?
Second.
Second. All right, has been seconded. All those.
I'd like to clarify what the vote is, please. So if you vote no, you're voting to, please clarify.
Let me start with the yes. The yes is to append the letter to the minutes.
Thank you.
A no is to not append the letter to the minutes.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So.
Point of order, Chair
Yes.
Fennessy.
Yes.
Are we not voting? I'm sorry to do this, but given the way things are working at this commission, we are voting on the motion to call the question.
Correct.
So if we pass that, then we will vote. We'll immediately vote on the substance issue.
Correct.
So,
if we don't call the question, then discussion can continue.
Okay, so we're voting on calling the question. Thank you, Peter. Thank you.
Correct.
I'm tired. Okay.
I know. And we're all getting an advanced degree in Robert's Rules of Orders, I swear. Okay. All right, here we go. So all those in favor of calling the question, say aye. Okay, I see Nagy, I see Fennessy, I see Grunewald, Gossett. Okay, I see 5. Okay, all those opposed to calling the question?
Point of order, Commissioner Fennessy, I think you got your vote count wrong.
Okay, let me try that again. All those in favor of calling the question, say aye. Okay. Aye, okay. I see all but Goslin. Is that correct? 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, thank you. All those opposed to calling the question? Okay, the motion passes. The question, we do call the question, so we will proceed immediately to the vote. All those in favor of the motion to append the April 15th letter of resignation to the official minutes of the meeting indicate by saying aye. Okay, I see 6. All those opposed say nay. All those abstaining? Okay, I have 601. Is that correct?
No,
No,
No.
it was
it's
501.
502.
502.
Okay, I'm really trying to look and I don't know what's
No,
going
it's okay.
with
That's
my
okay.
eyes,
It's
but-
502.
Okay, this is not in any way intentional if I am missing this. It is a little bit hard to see sometimes with this.
Point of
Okay.
order, Chair. What was the vote again, please?
It was 5 in favor, 0 against, 2 abstentions. So
Okay.
the letter will be appended to the
Okay.
official minutes
Thank
of the
you.
meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so now we are back to commission business. And we have a treasurer's report.
Yes, we do. And I sent it out to everyone today, this afternoon.
Wait,
I'm
Hello.
sorry, you have not been recognized. We are going to commission business right now. Okay,
So the treasurer's report I sent out to everyone today, it is what I mentioned on Friday when I described that we had 2 expenditures during the month of March. Both were for GoDaddy, one for $199.99, which is the routine hosting, and the other is $105.99, which is the ongoing expense that we're incurring to try to recover the account. So those items are identified in the treasurer's report. Our closing balance for the month was $59,279.58.
okay.
Take any questions?
No, I think not. Okay. And then we need single member district announcements. Do we have any announcements from Commissioner Gore, single member District 1?
Yes. So just to inform the community, I think it was on Saturday that I got a confirmation with DDOT on the walkthrough of Pinehurst Circle in Utah. That will be May 5th at 6 p.m. And before I get off, because I know our announcements are 1 minute, I am going to stick to that. I'm going to put the link to the survey. We got a lot of good responses. And in addition to those responses, we got some really great comments and feedback from the community. So thank you guys. Keep taking it. I'm going to share all that with DDOT for the walkthrough. Thanks. That's it for me.
You're muted, Chair Fennessy.
You should be able to send that link out in the chat.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Okay. All right. Commissioner Sherman, number 2.
Yeah, I will reiterate the announcement I made on Friday so that it's present in everyone's mind that we are going to be hosting another ranked choice voting briefing in ANC 34G this Thursday night, 30th of April at 7 p.m. at Knollwood. This is being conducted by the Board of Elections, but in particular by the chair of the Board of Elections, Gary Thompson, who is a neighbor and a constituent in a single member district 02. All community members are welcome to attend. The Knollwood folks have extended a welcome. They wish to open this up to the entire community. They're amply advertising this within Knollwood. I've put it in my newsletter. We're hoping to have a very good crowd. Folks can park in the parking lot at Knollwood. There's ample parking after hours. Just don't park in any of the residence spaces. There's also parking on 29th Street in Tennyson as well. So we hope that everybody can come. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Grunwald.
Not this evening. Thank you.
Okay, SMD 04, my district, just for folks who weren't here on Friday, in Lafayette Park, we've had a particular individual, young person, going around on an electric go-kart, going very fast. He's been down on the farmers market area around the track and also around the park, as well as we've had an uptick in some electric scooters, and it's been distressing to parents of very young children who are learning to ride bikes. Some of them are learning to walk. And I would ask everyone to please be mindful of the fact that there are not supposed to be any motorized vehicles on the property. Obviously, a parent, pedaling slowly on an e-bike, going the same speed as a regular bike is okay, but we need to make sure that we are all safe, and these motorized vehicles are not safe, and actually go-karts are not, allowed under 16s and without a helmet. It's not okay. We did have a great park cleanup on Saturday. The Friends of Lafayette Park came out. They've put in a lot of native plants and really tried to upgrade things there. That's good. The permitting for the bear carving at the top of the field is moving along as well, and as is the conditioning of the field. So, and we're still trying to hammer out the aerating and watering schedules that DPR had promised. So that's what's news from my corner of the world. Commissioner Simmons.
Hi, so just reiterating a few items that I provided on Friday. On May 8th, the end of the week of May 8th, there will start construction for landscaping bump outs at Nevada and Livingston. And then, as always, as I mentioned, that I would like for residents to be aware that I'm not able to post on the Chevy Chase listserv. So in the event that you need to get in contact with me, please contact me at 3go5@anc.dc.gov or my website, ksimmons.anc.gov, so that you can get your news and updates directly from me. That is all. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Gosselin.
Nothing.
Commissioner Nagy.
Yeah, thank you. I've talked about this before, but I actually was able to follow up today with the Board of Elections to see if they're having any luck getting access to Regency House to do a presentation on ranked choice voting. I contacted Monica Evans a while back about that, and they've been working on it, but they have not yet been able to work that out with the Department of Housing, because the Department of Housing isn't responding to them. So I'm going to work on that with probably the Mokers and with Councilmember Freeman, because I feel very strongly that people need to be informed and have access to information about this very, very different way of voting. And I just don't want people to be seeing what a ranked choice voting ballot looks like for the very first time when they start to vote. So I'm going to work on that and see if I can't get some movement to, if they won't allow us to come in to the Regency House, to try to get an alternate site. But the challenge is always getting messages through to the residents at Regency House. I've been trying now for quite about a year and a quarter. So that's really mostly what I wanted to say. Also, I do have something to say about the NOI on Connecticut Avenue, because we haven't really talked about that, and I'll make it quick. It doesn't look like the commission is going to be putting together a resolution at this point. I do intend to send comments. I've sent out the NOI to my constituents. I've gotten comments back, pro, con, somewhere in between, and I'm going to share them with DDOT before May 4th. That's it for me.
Thank you. And I have one more announcement. It'll be going into the chat from a former member of our Transportation Committee. Michaela Blesser is notifying everybody about a Ramada Bus Town Hall tomorrow. Doors open at 5, welcome remarks at 5:30 down at the WMATA headquarters down in Southwest. And if you are interested in the bus system and how it works, this is a great opportunity to get to know people. So thank you, Michaela. All right, we are going to our public comments. So this is for comments limited to a minute apiece on items not on the agenda. So if you were not here for the whole thing, we did talk about goods for good, engagement on the Civic Corps, a letter to DEMPED, the RACE committee. Those were the items on the agenda. So if there are other items of interest, please feel free to share them at this time. Sorry, Libby. Okay, you're on. I think you're. Can you unmute? There you go.
So I'm unmuted. Great. Hi, everybody. Good evening. I want to give a word of thanks tonight. I want to recognize Commissioner Lisa Gore and Commissioner Corinthia Simmons for the leadership they provided to the Racial and Social Equity Committee over these past years. And I also want to thank the prior ANC Commission and the former ANC chairs Randy Speck and Lisa Gore, as well as others for creating the task force that later became the RACE Committee. I want to tell you that as a white woman who has not experienced what it's like to grow up Black or as another racial minority, or to be treated unfairly because of skin color, or to have parents or grandparents who did experience such injustice, I'm very fortunate to have been part of RACE and its work. It's been humbling and forever enriching. Also, despite circumstances that were sometimes adverse, I want to say how much I admire the integrity, the deep integrity and deep knowledge of the members. Their work is founded on an interest in progress that is genuine. Regarding the work of RACE, first and foremost, the committee educated and raised awareness around issues that have shaped our neighborhood, such as the history of Chevy Chase and its legacy today. The work also focused on shared vision for the future, where Chevy Chase could be a more inclusive and resilient place to live, and where the Civic Corps includes housing for individuals at mixed levels of affordability. The great majority of residents in our neighborhood do not use the ANC or the Chevy Chase listserv to share their views. But they do care about being a welcoming and vibrant community, and they do want a Chevy Chase where families are proud to raise their kids, and where children and seniors and workforce employees can live together at the Civic Corps, where they can experience greater security through various affordability levels, and where they can thrive and give back to the community. So people really want to work together. That is what I am hearing, and it is exciting that Chevy Chase is looking forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Libby. And I also wanted to just a note, we are trying to figure out, there was an issue a couple of weeks ago when you were in a waiting room, and we have had some issues with the bubbles not popping up to admit people, letting us know, but we've kind of gotten a work around that if we keep the participant window open, we have better luck seeing, because that problem recurred with some other people as well. So I'm sorry that happened to you. It was not intentional, but we have worked on that technical issue.
Well, I would rather that you have focused on the comments that I just made rather than the technical issue, because that's really not very important since it's really in the past. And you could have emailed me that response to my email that I sent you previously.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Nicholas Weil.
Thank you, commissioners. On a couple of parliamentary law issues. First, the bylaws have some redundancies and some inaccuracies, and they need another look. Article 1 of the bylaws purports to describe the boundaries of the ANC by meets and bounds, but it's out of date. It doesn't agree with the boundaries in the statute. And the bigger lesson from that is, in general, bylaws should not simply repeat or track language that's already in the preceding statute. Because then if the statute changes, the bylaws are literally illegal, and you got to go through the process of amending them when that could have just been avoided in the first place. Secondly, responding to some awkwardness tonight, getting a second on a motion is almost always unnecessary. If the chair knows there are already three people with their hands up waiting to talk about a motion, guess what? There's no need to call for a second. In the extremely rare case, i.e., probably never, that the chair's assumption is wrong and that it turns out there's only one person interested in discussing or voting, well, that's easily remediable through a point of order. Third, I'll skip that one. Finally, on the issue of decorum, it's important that the commission not lose sight of the initial breach of decorum at the last regular meeting, which was the agenda item calling out two members for their outside affiliation. There's an old important premise of parliamentary law, which is that members not be singled out by name ex ante. As a matter of legitimate discipline, sure, but not as a part of an expedition to poke around for commissioners who might possibly fall under a standard whereby they should consider possibly recusing themselves. In short, ANC measures should be drawn specifically where necessary and warranted, but the use of individual members' names in informal elements of business is disfavored and must only be for specific and justified reasons. Thank you very much. I titled this comment, Advice on Parliamentary Law Nobody Asked For.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. You are correct that our bylaws do have some redundancies and inconsistencies. The Office of the ANC pointed those out to us last fall. And so part of the first step in getting that straight was getting the table of contents aligned up. So then now we have that matching with what our contents are, and it'll make it easier to go forward and tidy that up. And the final agenda for the 13th reflects the concern that you mentioned about the names. And you will notice that my name is the one with that Bega investigation now. So you'll see it with my Bega, present, past, spousal affiliations, parentheses, Benazzi. Okay, Mary Callahan.
Thank you, Commissioner. This is just a question for a quick follow-up on your neighborhood report. Is there any more information about the armed robbery in the 6300 block of Utah this week?
Commissioner Gore, I think this was the one that was down in 27.
That wasn't our SMD. That was Commissioner Grunwald's SMD.
Right, that's what I was thinking. Right. So Commissioner Grunwald, would you like to speak to that? I think this was the AirPods, the earbuds.
Yeah, but that occurred not where Mary said it did. It occurred on the corner of 27th Street and Military. A student was walking down the street in the afternoon wearing his AirPod headphones, and an adult riding a green bicycle, I guess one of those rental bicycles, drove up next to him and demanded the headphones. The child or the student refused, and then the perpetrator said he threatened him verbally with a weapon, did not show a weapon. So the student gave up the headphones, and that was it. The last I heard, when I spoke with Captain Haskis the last meeting, he had said they had some leads, but no one's been arrested as of yet.
May I clarify or ask for clarification? There was a report on the listserv that there was an armed robbery in the 6300 block of Utah during the last week. Is that not true?
That is not in my district, so I don't know anything about that.
I think it was inaccurate. I think what happened was the fellow, and Commissioner Gore may want to jump in on this, but I think the fellow was robbed down there at 27th and Military, but waited to report it until he got home, and then the report came from the home address. Is that your understanding, Commissioner Gore?
That's absolutely correct. Yes, and we've stated that the robbery did not take place in our single member district. The victim lived in our single member district and reported the robbery once he got home. So it did not occur.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, good. Cal?
Hi, this is more of a question. It seems like this meeting had more bureaucratic stuff around taking votes and calling for questions. And it seemed like there was, at least in one case, there was not an opportunity for public members to speak. And I don't understand that. It can't be that way. It just can't. So something seems either wrong in the interpretation of parliamentary procedure or something else is going on, but I just didn't understand that at all. During the race committee thing, there were two former members of the race committee that had their hands up. Well, I don't know if they were both former members, but two people wanted to speak on the topic, and they didn't get a chance to. And just before that, Mary Rouse, said she'd been waiting to speak. And so if this is something new or different, I'd like to know about it and be informed about it. And if there's something that needs to go out to the community, that would be useful. But it doesn't seems like this could be used as a way to block community input. That's my concern.
Right. So we had a meeting with parliamentarian and the executive director of the OANC last week, where we reviewed some parliamentary procedures, and they recommended that we adhere to them more closely. What you will see is, I think it's going to ease up as long as we follow the rules carefully, but commissioners are trying to make sure that each other doesn't, that we don't digress, that we don't do things that are out of parliamentary procedure. So that was one thing that we talked about last week. And part of that is that when you have a motion on the floor and it's being discussed among the commissioners, that it actually is the commissioners who are debating at that time. If it is something like a town hall type situation where there's discussion and there's no actual vote, there's not a motion yet, then that's where you can have public comment. And one of the things I think that the office of the ANC spoke to us about was that our community was used to a different style of meeting, which was more back and forth, but that was not actually in accordance with the parliamentary procedure. So if we follow the parliamentary procedure, it does, especially when there's a motion, it does limit public debate. But then if you have like discussion town hall, like for example, the other week, I don't know if you were here when we had the DDOT guy here. He was talking about the NOI for Connecticut Avenue and the different changes. There was no motion there. It was not a vote. And I think we went 35 minutes with constituent comments round and round. So it will just depend on whether it's official business where there is a vote or if it's a discussion. And those are two different things.
Seems to me that when there's a vote, it's one of the place where the public does need to be heard from. Even after, even though we've been doing it less formally than the way, we've been doing that for decades that way.
Right, right.
So,
well, I mean, it's definitely, the type of thing, if you have discussion before you call a vote, then people can talk in the discussion, but once that motion is on, then you're in the motion part. So
well, there's an extra level of indirection where you say, let's vote to call for the vote, and then you get that to pass with 2/3, and then you have the actual vote, and nowhere in there is there an opportunity, from what I can tell, for the public to speak.
I think that's the part of the parliamentary procedure. You are interpreting it correctly. Okay, I'm going to go. I see two commissioners who have their hands up too for the public comment. Commissioner Simmons.
Yes, I would just like to request for the letter to be sent to DEMBED to be provided on our website so that members of the public can read it.
Okay, thank you. And Commissioner Gore?
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to Cal's comment because I also got a text from a community member. So I do want the community to know that during the discussion about the race committee, the first motion that was on the floor was about the dissolution of the committee. The motion that came, which is a privileged type motion after that was to call the question. And the chair stated, that it's not, doesn't need a second, it doesn't need a debate. But I think there's two things happening with that. There's parliamentary procedures according to Robert's Rules of Order. But then there is also what you mentioned in terms of respecting the community and giving them an opportunity to weigh in on the discussion. And it's unfortunate that didn't occur when you call the question. That immediately ends debate if it's passed. And that's ending the debate with the commission and any community member. And Chair Fennessy is correct. And when I was chair, we also had the same conversation, Cal, that when the commission has a motion on the floor and is debating the motion and getting ready to take the vote is with the commission. That's, considered commission business. But I do want the general public to kind of understand that that was a particular motion that basically ends debate. I did not vote for that motion because I wanted to hear from community. But if it passes, which it did, it ends debate for everybody, not just commission, but commission and community members.
Right. And then you proceed immediately to the vote on the motion. Yeah. So it's a complicated process. But I think as we go forward, the opportunities we had talked also internally at the commission about using time for things like town halls or presentations where you do have, like with the NOI, where you have a lot of back and forth engagement because there is no vote at that time. And that's really, I think, the mechanism where we're going to be able to have more discussion. Okay. I think that those are all our public comments at this time. So with all of our business having been concluded, it is now 9:38. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So, sorry, I do have one other item, which is the public comment was at the front of the meeting and this meeting is at the back of the meeting. What happened there?
Right. So we had problems getting our business finished. So I think maybe you weren't on at the very beginning of the meeting, but I announced that it was at the end. And also it was in our posted agenda that it would be at the end so that we made sure that we got our official business done. Because like if we have a situation like, for example, with the Goods for Good grant that Commissioner Sermon's proposed, and we didn't get through the business at one meeting, that jeopardized that grant because that grant had to be presented at one meeting and then voted on in another meeting. And so that necessitated a special meeting. So we're going to make sure we get our business done first.
So this is going to be a standing change?
I think so, yeah. And also have the government officials right at the beginning so they can get in and out, because we had sort of we had put the public comment first, and then that sort of sometimes the commissioners, the government officials couldn't stay on; they had to go. So yeah, I think so. We'll continue to see how we go. At least our business got completely finished today, but that's something that we need to try to work on. And as I think if we can slim down our points of order and go more without those, then that'll save us some time as well. And yeah. Okay. Do we have I would like to motion to adjourn the meeting. I see Commissioner Goslin has seconded that. All those in favor of adjourning the meeting? Aye. All right. This meeting is hereby adjourned. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Good evening.